Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, December 10th, 10 p.m. Mountain Time 2019. Now, the newest GFS model is showing epic snow as we head into the Christmas holiday. A blizzard of epic proportion laying down several feet of snow in the southern states here on the East Coast. Again, these are just models. Keep calm, it's boom time. Eastern U.S. in crosshairs for another major storm. A stormy weather pattern has evolved in the eastern United States during the second week of December, and forecasters say it's likely to culminate in a significant weather system later this week. Despite a blast of Arctic air and an episode of wintry precipitation at midweek, temperatures are forecast to quickly rebound ahead of the next major storm in most, but not all areas of the East Friday and Saturday. AccuWeather meteorologists expect a narrow zone of heavy snow to develop on the backside of the storm, but most areas can expect a dose of rain rather than snow. Heavy rain and some ice predicted here Thursday night through Friday. Travel disruption, slippery surfaces, changing to rain, Harrisonburg, Lynchburg, Winston-Salem. Hello. Anything's possible. Be prepared. Snowfall falls in parts of Mississippi Tuesday. Yep, snow was in the forecast Tuesday for parts of Mississippi, according to the National Weather Service. You don't see that too often. Snow arrives in Virginia early Wednesday morning. Look at that blue dress. Richmond, Virginia, an Arctic cold front will arrive Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, bringing moderate to heavy rain with falling temps. Temperatures should get cold enough for the rain to change to sleet and or snow before ending Wednesday morning. This weather is not boring. Snowfall levels and arrival times for Wednesday's storm. Here we are in Massachusetts, Connecticut. You're looking at the average of 3 to 4 inches pretty much everywhere, including Provincetown and Chatham, Hyannis, Oak Bluffs, Nantucket. Algonquin highway shut down after major pileup caused by minimal amount of snow. This was I-80, and it was getting a little skatey. A quick-moving snowstorm created treacherous driving conditions near the Des Moines, Iowa area on Monday morning, which led to many accidents across the region, including a multi-vehicle pileup of roughly 50 cars, with at least one person severely injured, officials say. AccuWeather field temps to fall off a cliff as Arctic blast grips the Midwest. And he wore his best, plunging temperatures to the lowest levels yet this season across the Midwestern U.S. as a massive Arctic air settles over the region through midweek. The deep freeze may come as a shock to Midwestern residents who have not experienced an extreme cold snap like this since November 10th. During a stretch, single-digit lows were recorded in Minneapolis, and it's going to be chilly. Oh my gosh, it'll be cold.
Making its move throughout the nation's midsection.
Let's turn him up.
On this Tuesday, especially over the North Plains as well as the upper Midwest, numbers going 10, 15, even 20 degrees below. Midwest, numbers going 10, 15, even 20 degrees below normal. And yes, combined with even some light winds in place, we're going to be talking about some extreme AccuWeather real feels. Look at the high temperature for today. Minneapolis only up to 6 degrees. Many spots here throughout Minnesota, North Dakota, and northern Wisconsin will see single digits for the afternoon. Normally, we'll be talking about the mid to upper 20s.
Holy mackerel, it's going to be chilly.
Will add to the extremeness of the day. Look at those AccuWeather.
And we're done with this. I hate it when it parses like that. Sorry about that. Sorry about the call that also interrupted us just moments ago. The deep freeze may come as a shock to Midwesterners. No, it won't, because they're Midwesterners. How stupid are these writers? Wind chill could drop to minus 25 as cold and snow blast central eastern U.S. this week. It's a tweak. Look at how cold that looks. Climate change. How a warmer Earth could mean more snow. And colder Earth at the same time? What are they talking about? Get ready to shiver. Some of the coldest air of the season is poised to barrel into portions of the central and eastern U.S. over the next couple of days, up to 30 degrees below normal. How is that a warmer Earth, meaning more snow? Very cold Arctic air will plunge southward into the northern and central plains through Monday and into the Great Lakes and Midwest Monday and Tuesday, AccuWeather senior meteorologist Jack Boston said. Some locations from eastern Dakotas, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin may remain below zero for a period of 48 hours into Wednesday night. Howling winds will drop the wind chill to a numbing 25 degrees below zero. Where's Al when you need him? Check out the soil temperatures. Now, this Arctic blast moving south is going to prevent any planting down here for the winter crops. These 35 degree, look at that 35 degree line moving down into Texas and Arkansas. Snowfall analysis for the last 48 hours. 18 to 24 inches in northern Wisconsin. Heavy snow throughout Minnesota and the mountainous regions of Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado picking up good amounts, as well as Utah. And this snow is going to be moving east. Check out the snowfall forecast analyzer. We're over at weather.gov. Wintry weather mid-south and New England. Rain and mountain snow in the west. Rain will turn into snow across portions of the mid-Atlantic and New England tonight as a storm system passes through the eastern states. Snow may linger for portions of New England for the morning commute. On the southern end of this system, across the lower Mississippi Valley, heavy rain could cause localized flash flooding, and it could change to snow, especially in the mountainous regions. Here are the warnings they have in this light pink color that you can't even notice. It's crazy. Lake effect snow warning in New York State, as well as northeast Michigan, and just a few counties over here in northwestern Kansas. It's a heads up. But look at the models towards the end of the month. I mean, look at this storm coming in here. This will be Friday, December 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and Christmas Eve. And according to this model, 24 inches all the way down here to Georgia. Someone in Atlanta said, bring the snow. There it is, right on the GFS model. Half of Texas is buried in 16 inches of snow. Who knew? And look at the snow in BC coming all the way down into Washington, Oregon. Heavy snow, 4 feet or more predicted. It's looking like a white Christmas, folks. Extreme cold warnings in effect for far north Ontario. He looks cold. Extreme cold warning in Saskatchewan expanded. Look at that. Churchill, minus 20. Thunder Bay, minus 18. Winnipeg, minus 20. Saskatoon, minus 19. Extreme cold warnings for northern and central eastern parts of the province. All over Saskatoon. Extreme cold warnings issued for northeastern Alberta. Wind chills in the area expected to drop to minus 40. Extreme cold gripping Manitoba. Temperatures Tuesday morning have dropped to near minus 30 in some areas of western Manitoba. That's basically all of Canada. Frozen because of global warming. It's amazing how that works. Seismic update. East Coast still rumbling. This is the third unique quake either in Canada or the East Coast this week. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this activity. We also had a big rumbler over here in Greece at 5.4. Nothing of note. The Aleutians are active and the volcanoes are erupting. We'll get to that here, Sitkin and Kodiak. Where were we? Now, should tourists have been on New Zealand's volcanic White Island? Probably not. Not with a 5.9 precursor eruption in Thunder Bay prior to the event. And I even watched a video from a few years ago where tourists actually wear these sulfur masks, and it's just the dumbest thing you could possibly do. And if you want to read more about the stupidity or who's going to be held accountable, the article will be linked below. Sabancaya, Sporadic puffs to 30,000 feet. That's not too sporadic. That's pretty high. And we also have Etna, explosive activity continuing, and Avachinsky. Yes, this is a volcano we need to watch. In the Kamchatka, increased activity, weak incandescent visible at night right here. The volcano is showing signs of reawakening, which is bad news, because Avachinsky has a history of blowing at VEI 5. Take a look at it there, and take a look at all the people that are right here. Could be bad news. Could be one of the first major catastrophes moving forward during this magnetic reversal and this grand minima. The last VEI 4 was in 1945. But VEI 5 eruptions from this volcano have been confirmed in many occasions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 VEI 5s. A VEI 4 in 1926, a VEI 4 in 1945. And we could be headed back into VEI 4, VEI 5. NASA unveils the most powerful rocket ever built. Yes, it's Optimus Prime. And it's going to take everyone to Mars. Chilean military plane carrying 38 people crashes en route to Antarctica. A Chilean military plane with 38 people on board has crashed on its way to Antarctica, Chile's Air Force said Tuesday. The Hercules C-130 transport likely crashed, and search and rescue mission is ongoing, according to the Associated Press. My thoughts and prayers are out with the families of the 38 crew members and passengers of the Foch Air Force C-130, Chilean President Sebastián Piñera wrote on Twitter. Tragedy right there. Greenland's meltdown warning. Warning. Computer alert. Warning. How you doing, mates? Good to see you. Oh, that's good. Oh, man. Damming research predicts sea level could rise more than 2 feet by 2100. Well after you're dead, no one will ever remember this article. Scientists found ice sheet melting 7 times more rapidly than it did in the 90s. But they didn't look at the data. Greenland's ice melting will cause 100 million people to be flooded each year by the end of the century. Not true. But it is the Daily Mail, so. Greenland's ice losses have septupled. They're inventing words. Not really, that's a word, but it's insane that they used it in the title. Greenland's ice losses have septupled and are now in line with the highest sea level scenario scientists say. But the same scientists don't tell you that Greenland's ice is building at even more rapidly a rate. So where's that water coming from? Is water a cycle? No, that can't be. But according to 26 separate satellite measurements and 89 scientists who have produced them, scientists produced measurements? What? Here is the paper that all this nonsense is coming from. Mass balance of the Greenland ice sheet from 1992 to 2018. And you can read the abstract for free, but you'll have to rent the paper for like $85 an hour if you want to read what says inside. But you don't need to. Because here they compare and combine 26 satellite measurements and changes in the ice sheet's volume, flow, and gravitational potential. And using 3 regional climate models. Oh. They show that you're all going to drown using the mathematical model. Isn't that amazing? And then they put all these big numbers, 538 billion tons of ice loss due to glacial discharge. And it's increasing. But what they don't tell you is the truth. Here's the surface mass balance of Greenland's ice. And only from mid-May to the end of August does any ice melt. And all the rest of the time, this upper gray line is building ice. And so far, since the beginning of this cycle, the beginning of September, more ice More mass balance on the Greenland ice sheet has been deposited on the top of the ice sheet than will melt off ever in any summer already. And we have 6 more months of ice mass balance to build. So 3 times as much ice builds every winter as melts in the summer. 3 times as much builds as melts in the summer. So it doesn't matter how fast it melts in the summer, because 3 times more ice will build the next winter. Which is why airplanes from the Second World War are now under 300 feet of ice. Because it's just that much ice building every year. While they lie to you directly and scare you about this little 3-month period of melt, which has nothing to do with rising sea level, because all this melt has to come back here and be built up 3 times as much. It's called the water cycle. And if we put 3 times as much on the land as we melt into the ocean, then the sea level drops. It doesn't rise unless you are a fraud and you use a mathematical model that doesn't add all of this mass gain. It only includes the loss and the runoff in the model. Embarrassing. You know what we know and don't know about sea level rise? That the powers that be are fraudulent, use the data fraudulently, they manipulate it, and they lie to you. They leave out the fact that thermal expansion needs to occur to account for 50% of all sea level rise. Has nothing to do with fresh water running in the ocean. You have to change the temperature in order for it to rise. But they never took basic physics. I'll leave you links to all this. The Arctic may have crossed a key threshold, emitting billions of tons of carbon into the air in a long-dreaded climate feedback. So you read the article and it says everything's changing in the Arctic because climate changes all the time in cycles. 30, 10, 20, 30, 50, 60-year cycles, 100-year cycles, 120-year cycles. Freeze and thaw and melt. Biodiversity moves around the Earth. It's never static. And there's no problem with the Arctic freezing. The Arctic ice sheet is completely frozen over from one side of the ocean to the other. Russia to Canada, boom, solid sheet of ice. And it's only going to get thicker, for 5 more months. There's 5 more months for this baby to get thicker. And by the way, the Arctic is below 0 6 months of the year, every year. So you have that too. Mysterious light hovering over Mesa skies, Sunday night puzzles residents. Some awesome footage of UFOs pooping firebombs. I didn't believe it either until I saw it with my own eyes. Take a look. It's amazing. Oh, that's
a mysterious light hovering over the valley, giving a few folks in Mesa quite this thrill, but explaining what you're seeing on your screen, that is a little bit more difficult. ABC 15's Cameron Polam is on the hunt for answers tonight.
It was about straight up over here.
About straight up over there.
Stopped.
From outside their Mesa home, DJ Mayer and Carrie Burnett shot this video Sunday around 9 p.m.
And it started kind of moving diagonal across, trying to figure out which way it was heading. And as it did, that's when we noticed it started dropping things from it.
The object captured on 2 cell phones looks like a bright orb hovering silently in the sky every few moments, dropping what looks to be flares.
Holy macaroni! Elementals being deposited
our
on the
neighbors
planet.
next door.
You saw it here first. And it's happening right down the road. Well, about 8 hours away. Now, this is big news. Plants emit informative airborne sounds under stress. This paper coming out is one of the first studies to determine if plants talk. And apparently they do. And they emit, some ultrasonic sounds that may be able to be picked up by biological life, meaning animals nearby. Maybe to warn them not to eat them. Maybe they're communicating in some other way. But this paper is amazing, so make sure you take a second and read from it. They were using tomato and tobacco plants, 2 of my favorite plants, and They detected sounds coming from these plants when they stressed them. It's amazing. Now, we had already known that trees communicate. In the Serengeti, some trees warn others that they're being overgrazed so that the trees downwind can produce toxins and kill off the herd that is overgrazing the trees. And this is because trees have been around much longer than mammals. So clearly they're much smarter. Now, breaking news. The World Magnetic Model updated today, and I got it sent directly to my mailbox. Here's the US-UK World Magnetic Model Epoch 2020.0 update with the main field declination. And what you're looking at here is the new position of the South Pole, well offshore of Antarctica here, just below Australia. There's where the South Pole is, and here's the position of the North Pole currently. Yeah. So rapid changes in the pole positions as they rapidly move along these lines to somewhere right here, just west of Indonesia. These poles are going to be moving straight down these field lines into position. So there's the update. Crazy. Researchers in Iceland can now turn CO2 into rock. What could be stupider? Take all the plant food on the surface and put it underground and kill the planet. You read the article. Now I'm about to do an interview with my buddy Tim Ball. Awesome guy. The only winner in this picture. And we're going to talk about the hockey shtick. And we're going to talk about the appeal of Michael Mann and his secondary loss. Because he is a loser. 2 times now. And we're going to talk about how much money Tim Ball spent. And why we need to donate to this awesome dude. And buy his books. And we might even touch on Naomi Siept. The young woman from Germany who's on the Heartland Institute video that we shared the other night. So, stay tuned for that interview tomorrow. And we love you. Be safe. Oh yeah, Likan. Gaia. 4420. That ain't funny. That's awesome.